Hello my friends and welcome to our blending video today. Today's February 26th and it is Unit 3 Week 6 where we are reviewing everything that we've learned so far in first grade, mostly in Unit 3, the long vowels and the soft C and the soft J and the sound. Alright, so let's do some high frequency words first. After, soon, work, done, by, every, ago, people, boy, girl, old, how, happy, any, so, upon, from, once, water, together, should, pretty, grow, green, way, now, away, why, today, some. Wonderful, thank you. So these first couple words, we're going to be working with the long A sound. And in this unit, we've been working on how to spell the long A sound, which says A, using the spelling pattern A blank E. So remember that blank can really be any other letter. If it's a C, it'll say the soft C sound because then it'll be C-E. If it's a G, then it will say the soft G sound, which would say ja. Okay, so first word, grapes. Your turn. Gur, a, ps, grapes. So that means more than one grape. So it's plural. Gr, gur. So like we've talked about before, those beginning blends, or if they come at the end, you can sound them out letter by letter. Some blends, like the CH or the SH, you cannot sound those out letter by letter. But this is an R blend, gur. And then A blank E. So that says the long A sound. When you're sounding it out, when you get to the A, you want to say ah. But then, oh, look, it's closer or farther in the end of the word, you see an E. So that should trigger in your brain that the word is not going to say ah, it's going to say a. Gur, a. P says pa. Gur, a, grape. So the word was grapes, which means more than one, so you have to have an S at the end. So as soon as you see an S at the end of the word, that tells you that it's more than one, and you have to make sure that when you say the word, you blend it with that sound. Gur, apes, grapes. Next word. Trades. Your turn. Tur, a, z. Trades. So here's another beginning blend. You can make that one sound and say tur. And if you have you can chunk together two letters to make one sound, then it's a lot easier to use your stretchy snake. For example, G and R, if you can learn to say that as just gur and not gur, then it makes it a lot easier to use your stretchy snake, and also you don't forget the first sound by the time you get to the end of the word. Gur, apes, grapes. Same with this word. Tur, a blank E, tur, a. D says da, tur, aid, trade. So the word was trades. So this is a verb, like she trades her banana for his pudding. Aids, trades. And these next couple words are going to use the long I sound, like the sound that you hear in the middle of the word five. And this one we're also going to use the I blank E. And in the next unit, we're going to learn all kinds of other ways to spell that long I sound. This one, you got to really try to master that I blank E or the A blank E. All right, so this word. Time, your turn. Ta, I, time. T says ta. I blank E says I, ta, I. M says ta, I'm time. time. All right, next word. Drives. Your turn. Der. I. Z. Drives. She drives to the park. So D-R. D. Der. I blanky says the long I sound. Der I. V says V. Der I've. Drive. So remember, the word was drives. So if you hear an S at the end, der I'ves. Drives. Have to make sure you blend it with an S. Very, very important. Okay, so the next few words are going to be using the soft G sound, which is a G that just sounds like a J, sounds like a J. So, stage, your turn. Sta. A blank E, J, stage. So you hear that that long A. ST, remember you can blend those two together. You can chunk it into one sound, then you don't get lost in the rest of the word. So, S and ta, sta. A blank E, like the train card. Long A, sta, A. G says ja, sta, age, stage. So we've talked about before how with soft G, which says ja, or soft C, which says s, doesn't really have any rules to follow. A lot of times, though, it is GE or definitely DGE. Okay? So A blank E can say the long A sound, and that E will help it say the ja sound. Next word. Pledge. Your turn. Pull. Ja. Pledge. Pledge. P-L. P-L. Pull. E says because there's nobody. We're not going to have E blank E. So it's not long E, just short E. Pull DGE. Ja. Pull ja. Pledge. But oh wait, there's an E at the end of the word. Isn't the E going to be long then? Nope, because it's not E blank E. It is E blank blank E, which doesn't mean it's going to say the long sound. It's just going to say the short sound. Pull ja. Pledge. All right, these next few words are going to use the long O sound, which is the boat card. And again, this vowel, O blank E. All right, so next word, stone. Your turn. Sta, O, n. Stone. S-T, sta, sta. O blank E, O, sta, O. And says n, sta, own, stone. Next word, broke. Your turn. Burr, O, k, broke. B-R, b-er, burr. O blank E, long O, burr, O. K says ka, burr, oak, broke. The next few words, we're going to be using the book card, which, if you remember, the middle sound in the word book, spelled with O-O, and you can feel it in your chest when you say that sound, All right, so, wool, your turn. Wa, ul, wool, wool. So wool is a type of fabric, and you might have a sweater or some socks. Wa. Oh, wa, L says wa, wool. So these two O's, if two O's are together, it's not going to be wa, ul, wa, ul. Doesn't quite sound like a word I know. And there's no E at the end of this word, so it can't be O blank E, like the boat card. The two O's together, they work together to say And next word, put. Your turn. Pa. T. Put. Now, like we've talked about, sometimes the sound can be spelled with a U. And it kind of sounds like just a regular U. Pa, like book, but regular U, like umbrella, pa, t, put. So it doesn't quite sound like the word put, like I put something on the table. Pa, t, put. Next word, shook. Your turn. Sh, shook. So SH is one of those digraphs. You can't sound it out letter by letter. You can't go saha, saha. It doesn't sound right. You just have to know that SH says sh, sh. And OO, two O's together say sh, K says ka, sh, shook. And last word, push. Your turn. Pa, sh, push, push. So if you've ever seen the word push, you know that it has a U there. And maybe you've just seen it over and over and over again, so that you don't really have to think about the fact that this U says you just know. And eventually, the more you practice with these kinds of sounds, you won't have to spend your brain energy trying to sound them out. You'll just know what they are. Pa, sh, push. All right, let's go ahead and read our board. Grapes, trades, time, drives. Your turn. Stage, pledge, stone, broke. Your turn. Wonderful. Wool, put, shook, push. Your turn. All right, let's do a sentence. All right. J says ja, capital letter, beginning of a sentence. It could also be a name. A blank E, train card, long A. E tells the A to say A, not a. Ja, A. K says ka, ja, ache, Jake. Wa, ill, will. We should be able to kind of know what this word is by now. Wa, ill, will. Jake will. P says pa. U is going to say in this word. T says ta, pa, put. So of course, when you're seeing this in a book, you won't always know if U is going to say You will know if it's going to say long U because it has to have an E. It has to have a U blank E. That you will definitely know. But you know, when we're doing blending, I'm going to tell you that the U says On, on. I think that's also a high frequency word. Pretty sure his is also a high frequency word. Is his. Jake will put on his. W says what? Two O's together. Wa, L says ol, w, ol, wool. Jake will put on his wool. J says j. It's kind of long. A says a. CK, ka, ja, ak. E says eh. T says ta, ja, ak, et, jacket. So this one has, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's got 5 sounds in it. So it really helps if you can chunk a couple of sounds together, or break it up into words that you already know. So if you're starting to sound it out, ja, ak, jack, et, jacket. Jake will put on his wool jacket. High frequency word and. P says pa, a long sentence here. U says in this case. Remember, 2 consonants, you just double up on the sound. In this case, it's L. So ol, pa, ol, pull. And up, high frequency word. Pull up. Sorry, they're blending over each other. The. H says huh. 2 O's together. Huh. Sorry, kind of sloppy here. Huh. Hood. All right, so let's read our sentence. It's a long one. Jake will put on his wool jacket and pull up the hood. Your turn. All right, wonderful. So of course we need some punctuation, and this sentence should just have a period. I don't see any reason why we might say this with oomph, so it's just going to have a period. All right, some nouns and verbs. Maybe even some adjectives. All right, so we got a lot of nouns in our sentence. So let's start at the beginning. Jake is a noun. We know it's a noun because it's a person. We know it's a person because it's a name. So Jake will put on his wool jacket. Jacket is the next thing in the sentence that we can touch. It's the next thing. It's the next noun. Jake will put on his wool jacket and pull up the hood. So the hood is part of the jacket. It is something you can touch on the jacket. So we have 3 nouns in our sentence. So we have 4 verbs in our sentence. So remember, a verb tells what the noun is doing. So in this case, Jake is the one doing all the actions. The jacket's not doing anything. The hood is not doing anything. Jake will put on. So put and on in this case, that's kind of one verb. So put by itself is a verb, but when it's together like this, put on, that means that both of those work together to be the verb. Because that's what Jake is doing. He's putting on his jacket. And he's going to pull and up kind of work together. Pull up the hood. So Jake is doing 2 things. He is putting something on. What's he putting on? The jacket. And he is pulling up. What is he pulling up? The hood. All right, so let's do an adjective. Adjective. All right, so there's only one adjective in our sentence, and that is the word wool. An adjective describes something in the sentence. So, and it describes a noun. So, in this case, is wool describing Jake? Nope. Is wool describing the hood? It's the wool is describing the jacket. The hood is part of the jacket. So the word wool is definitely describing the jacket and the hood as well. All right, let's read our sentence once more. Jake will put on his wool jacket and pull up the hood. Your turn. All right, wonderful. Thanks so much for your focus and participation. Definitely helps out your skills. We'll see you later.